Hello there. Right, in this video I'm going to be going through pretty much your summer holidays homework. This is the first video where I'm using my new fancy microphone, so hopefully the volume or the noise might sound a little bit better than it has been doing over the last few times. So, the homework for the summer holidays that you're going to get is going to be working towards these two assignments that we're going to aim to be starting properly when we come back in September. So I said to a few of you, well, all of you have come in for your support sessions that at the moment, based on the fact that your magazine work we're no longer doing, we are quite ahead of where we normally are at this time of year, which is great. So we're going to use the summer holidays as an opportunity to make a start with the planning and research stages of assignment 3 and assignment 4. This video is going to be the first of 3 that I'm going to be making. I'm going to make this one now for the assignment as a whole, and then I'm also going to do one for each assignment as well separately, rather than do one massive video. So this one is going to be a little bit of an overview to both assignments, looking at the assessment criteria, the usual stuff, and then I'm going to go through the summer holidays homework with you as well. It won't be in massive amounts of detail because that's what the other 2 videos will be for. So we are going to do these 2 assignments concurrently, which means at the same time. And the reason we're doing that is because even though they are 2 separate assignments, they go towards different. They go towards the same criteria. So it probably makes a lot of sense to do them both now because there is so much crossover, and it means we're less likely to be jumping back and forth from different assignments and getting confused. So we're going to do them at the same time. Okay. The practical stuff obviously we won't do at the same time, but this stuff now we can easily do this at the same time because there's a lot of transferable skills that are going across to both assignments. And there is a crossover in the actual assessment criteria as well. So, assignment 3, these assignments are both printing assignments. So I've mentioned this to you a few times in the second year that we do have to do some actual physical printing of stuff. And that's what assignments 3 and 4 are working towards, because you've got to do some different types of printing to meet the assessment criteria. So, assignment 3, we're going to do lino cut printing, which some of you might have done before, especially those of you who do art maybe. And the scenario for that is you've been commissioned by TRC and Inspired Trust to design a run of promotional winter season's greetings cards for the college, and the cards will be sold to raise money for charity. So the key word you've got to pick out there is the word a run. Okay, now a run means a set, so we're not just looking at one card, you're looking at a series of the same print. Okay, so it's going to be, I think last year we did 10 cards, give or take, but we can do as many as 1, to be honest. Okay, I think we need a minimum of 3, but if we're going to sell some, we'll do at least 10. All right, so that's the first one. Assignment 4 is again working towards something for the college. You've been commissioned by the Performing Arts Department at TRC to produce a run of posters for their upcoming production of Chicago. Now for that one, we're going to use screen printing, okay, which is quite a technical technique that, again, some of you who do art might have done before. So we'll do a lot of work with the art department to do with that particular poster. But basically, what it all means is you're going to do 2 different print products using 2 different styles of printing. Assignment 3 is going to be lino cut printing, and assignment 4 is going to be screen printing. If you don't know what any of these things mean now, then don't worry about that, because that's what the next 2 videos are going to be going over. Okay, some of you might know that, but don't worry about it for now. And we actually won't do the actual printing of it until September. Okay, so you don't need to worry about that now. The other thing you need to know about, which we'll do in the research, is understand the actual process and what you need to be doing. Both of the assignments, though, include research tasks and planning tasks, which is what we're going to be doing for your homework over the summer holidays. This is one of both these assignments, are assignments that span over 2 units. So the actual printing aspect of the unit and designing your ideas goes towards Unit 18, which is printing techniques. Okay, so you've got be able to develop ideas and originate ideas for print-based media products. Okay, so this is basically a plan. I'm not going to bother going through all this stuff. And then again, be able to produce print media products, blah, blah, blah. But it also goes towards Unit 3, which is the research techniques unit that you're going to be working towards. So this is a little bit similar to your how-to guide in the sense that the first couple of tasks the research tasks, will all be going towards unit 3. Okay, and then the actual printing stuff that you do, the actual things that you make, will go towards unit 18. Okay, so there is a bit of a crossover between different units there, so just make sure you're aware of that. Okay, I'm not going to bother going through all this stuff because you've got the unit specs, you can read through those. Right, so these assignments are both set up the exact same way. They pretty much involve the same planning and research tasks with a few minor changes for each one. So for each assignment, there are 5 different sections that you're going to be working towards. You've got an introduction, a research, design, production, and evaluation. The introduction and the research we're going to do over the summer holidays because you can do that pretty much on your own. Okay, it's research. Okay. And the design, production, and evaluation stuff we'll do in class. There will be some design stuff that you can do at home that we might do, such as rough sketches and things like that, but the majority of the design stuff we'll do in college. But the first 2 bullet points we will do for homework, and that's the same for both assignments. So I will do you a video for each assignment on what needs to go into your introduction and your research section, and I'll give you some background information and information on the different printing techniques that you need to know about. Okay, so this video probably won't be very long. What's going to go into your introduction section and your research section is going to involve you looking at some existing products of the same style that you want to make. So for the assignment 3, for example, you'll need to look at some examples of lino cut season's greetings cards and do a little analysis of them. Just look at how they work, look at the designs, look at the patterns, look at the colours that they might use. You also need to actually show that you understand the printing technique that you're going to be doing, because you've got to go out and do it eventually. So you need to understand how this works. You also need to do some research about the various considerations that you need to be aware of, because we're looking at this from the point of view of selling these cards. So you need to figure out things like cost implications, what equipment you might need, how many cards you need to be able to make in order for you to make a profit, who your audience is and competitors, what quality factors and legal and ethical stuff as well. So you need to be aware of all that stuff. And also as well the actual client brief and the artistic and cultural considerations that you need. So say for example with your assignment 4, given the fact that we're going to be making a poster for the play Chicago, alright, don't make the mistake someone did last year and thought we were doing posters to promote Chicago the city, which we're not. You need to show that you understand what the musical is about. Okay, what are the themes? What's the narrative? Who are the characters? What are the sort of aesthetic styles that are involved in Chicago? You know, what colours do they use? What images do they use? What props do they use? Stuff like that. So you've got to show you understand those things before you actually go into making your product. The design stuff involves originating your designs, getting feedback on those designs. We'll do a lot of test printing and peer feedback before making your final product. So it's not just going to be a case of do your research, crack on, make your product. You will need to do a lot of test prints, okay, and evaluate in those test prints what went wrong, what went well, what are you going to do different next time to try and make this design better. Okay, so we'll do a lot of examples and a lot of test printing to make sure that any mistakes that you make, you won't make these when you do your final one. Alright? But any test printing you do, you've got to evaluate it and critique it and show me that you've learned something from it. So these are some examples of cards that we made last year. Bear in mind, some of the people who made these ones were actual art students, so the designs are going to be very good, but you don't get graded on the actual quality of your drawing, okay, or your designs, because lino cutting is very, very fiddly, okay, and at least, well, these two especially, were made by students who do art, who do lino cutting all the time, okay? But it's not about that. If you look back to the actual assessment criteria, it says, wherever it is, somewhere, oh, it's not on here, is it? Never mind. Basically, if you look on the unit spec, it tells you that the actual quality of the design is not the be-all and end-all. It's about the actual printing process itself. Has it been printed properly? So if you look at this one here, for example, the design for this penguin here isn't as good as this one. Okay, that's pretty obvious. But the actual way it's been printed is not bad, you know. So it's not going to impact on the result because the drawing isn't quite as good. Okay, so if you can't draw like me, don't worry about it because I can't draw to save my life. But these are the kind of things that we're going to be doing. Okay. These are the screen print posters that we made last year for Chicago. So again, some nice cool designs here. These ones are nice because they feature a mixture of digital design, which we'll do on Photoshop and InDesign, some photography as well, and the actual physical printing of it as well. So you look at this one, for example, the silhouette of the lady with the gun was designed on Photoshop, and the Chicago logo and all this text here and the logos were done using screen printing techniques. Okay, same for this one here with the gun and the city skyline there. Okay, the bullets and all the stuff in red was printed. Another example there, a few good examples. This is the kind of thing that we're going to be doing. Okay, and you can tell by looking at this straight away, you can sort of get an idea of what the aesthetic style of Chicago is. You know, a lot of reds, a lot of golds, a lot of use of the gun there because of the narrative. What else have we got? The silhouettes, the jail bars, things like that. Okay. So that's the kind of thing that we're going to be making, okay? And the research that you do for assignment 4 is the research going into this. We also need to look at, again, I'm not going to go into detail for this now, we need to look at the art style that you're going to be using for your posters, because these are all done in a design style that's called Dada. Okay, this one especially. Now I'm not going to go into lots of information there about what Dada is, because that's for another video. But you've got to show that you have understood that style and applied it to your posters as well. Okay, but you'll do some research on the Dada style in your assignment 4 planning. Okay, so your homework for the summer holidays is to complete all the planning and research sections for both assignments 3 and 4. Okay, it sounds like a lot, but it's not really that much. Okay, it's a lot of research, but a lot of the information that you need will be on the video that I'm going to make and send out to you along with this video as well. I will also, in your OneDrive folder, not and when I say your OneDrive folder, I mean the folder that I created for you and sent out, not your actual personal OneDrive folder. I'm going to make a folder in there called Summer Holidays Homework, and everything you need will be in there, along with an additional video for each assignment. Okay? Now, given that we're in a bit of a weird situation at the moment with the fact that the colleges, that, you know, what's happening in September is completely up in the air because we don't know, what I would like is by September, I realistically want to be starting doing the practical work on the first week back when we come back in September. Okay. However, you can only start doing the printing stuff if you've finished your planning and research. Okay. Now, obviously, the practical stuff is the stuff that's much more enjoyable when for any subject really. All right. So you need to make sure you've got all that stuff finished. All right. If it isn't completed, then you're not starting the practical work, and you can always start it when you've finished everything else. Now, the practical stuff as well is even more important this year because you can literally only do it in college, okay, for assignments 4 and 5. So, if you assume you can work on it at home, you can't because you don't have the equipment that we've got in college to do that. Even if you've got Photoshop and InDesign at home, you can't do the physical printing here. So you need to make sure you've got all the planning and research tasks finished by the first day back in September. Okay? It's not particularly difficult, alright? It's just a bit of research. But that's pretty much assignments 3 and 4 in a nutshell. I'll go into much more detail of the actual specifics for both assignments in the videos that I'm going to make for each assignment, okay? Obviously, over the summer holidays, I won't be as active on checking my emails, and for some bizarre reason, the Outlook app no longer works with our email account, so I don't get notifications through to my phone anymore. So if you do have any questions, I will check my emails as often as I can, and I'll reply to them as often as I can, but don't freak out if I don't email you back straight away. Okay, it might take a couple of days between where you're back, but I will help anyone if they get stuck with anything, if they need any help, they need any guidance, they don't understand any particular bits, email me as per, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. But that's pretty much it. So check out the other 2 videos that I'm going to make for help with the actual specifics of your assignments, and that's pretty much it. TRC Media